Chapter 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, a chamberlain of Pharaoh, the captain of the life guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hand of the Ishmaelites, who had brought him down thither. And Jehovah was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that Jehovah was with him, and that Jehovah made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found favor in his eyes, and attended on him, and he set him over his house, and all that he had he gave into his hand. And it came to pass, from the time he had set him over his house, and all that he had, that Jehovah blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of Jehovah was on all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and took cognizance of nothing with him, save the bread that he ate. And Joseph was of a beautiful form, and of a beautiful countenance. Verse 7. And it came to pass after these things, that his master's wife cast her eyes on Joseph, and said, Lie with me. But he refused, and said to his master's wife, Behold, my master takes cognizance of nothing with me. What is in the house, and all that he has given into my hand. There is none greater in this house than I, neither has he withheld anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. And how should I do this great wickedness, and sin against God? And it came to pass, as she spoke to Joseph day by day, and he hearkened not to her, to lie with her, and to be with her, that on a certain day he went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there in the house. Then she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. But he left his garment in her hand, and fled and ran out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and had fled forth, that she called to the men of her house, and spoke to them, saying, See, he has brought in a Hebrew man to us, to mock us. He came in to me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled and went out. And she laid his garment by her until his lord came home. And she spoke to him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew bondman that thou hast brought to us came in to me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled forth. And it came to pass, when his lord heard the words of his wife, which she spoke to him, saying, After this manner did thy bondman to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's lord took him, and put him into the Tower house, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. And he was there in the Tower house. And Jehovah was with Joseph, and extended mercy to him, and gave him favor in the eyes of the chief of the Tower house. And the chief of the Tower house committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the Tower house, and whatever they had to do there he did. The chief of the Tower house looked not to anything under his hand, because Jehovah was with him, and what he did, Jehovah made it prosper.